So this song I wrote coming back from Crete, going through Athens and then to ancient sites like Delphi, into the mountainous areas of Italy, back down into Tunisia, up back to Rome, and then down the coast of Catalonia. So I went to 4 great cities. Now I'll tell you those after I've finished the recording, before it gets too dark. I'm on that road again, but my shadow never seems to turn. I'm heading for the sun, but I ain't no man on the run. No, 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 I'm on that road again, and my shadow never seems to turn. Oh no, I'm heading for the sun, but I ain't no man on the run, just a free bird, very neat, like a sailing ship with the wings of a beast, a griffin bearing down. In heliotropic breeze, the horizon is a fountain, a life-giving ripple over mountain, a cradle for unspoken word of his sounding. Cry in the day, the ripples along the night, a fright, a light, oh, the awakening of his mind. If only you could see his coming, a revival of the Lord, only begotten, on the trail of the blessed chosen. I'm on that road again, but my shadow never seems to turn. No, 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 I'm heading for the sun, but I ain't no man on the run, just a free bird, very neat, like a sailing ship with the wings of a beast, a griffin bearing down. In heliotropic peace, a guardian of treasure, resplendent in the glow of his cauldron, wavering in the space between. Oh, a cry, a fright, a light, I'm on that road again. Oh no, but I ain't no man on the run, no, I'm heading for the sun, but my shadow never seems to turn. No, 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 I'm on that my shadow, yeah, never burns. No, 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 I'm heading for the sun. And I ain't no man on the run, just a free bird, very neat, like a mythical ship with the wings of a bee, yeah, a griffin bearing down. In heliotropic breeze, a libation bearer to the Almighty, the carrier of water and heredity, the giver of life. In feather felty. So it's a different version. So now you're seeing me in the darkness, which is pretty cool. Let's put a light on. There you go. Still unshaven from my journey. But that's a good thing. I like people to see me in all different formats. I'm still in my super fit, transcendent format, you know, where I achieve everything on the road, get through any niggles, injuries, mental or emotional problems, you know, they just all burn up. And then I arrive back to my farm and I've got like these wonderful dogs that come greeting me. It's a bit like meeting strangers on the road. But what happens here in Catalonia is it's very different. I'm snubbed. People don't visit my farm anymore. They avoid me, and they've been avoiding me for about 2 years. They discriminate, and Catalan people as well are very different. So expats may have their reasons because I don't socialise with them, and I don't, you know, go and sacrifice all my energy for their drinking sprees down at the bars and stuff like that. I'd rather play outside the church. And that's where you'll meet the Catalans, and that's where you see spiritual people coming in, people who believe in God. They're not materialists necessarily, but they may be rich. But they're the sort of people who will stop and listen to me and chat with me, and we go into church together on another day or something like that. We celebrate and they remember me. Some of them come out and give me a drink, maybe a cup of tea or something like that, or beer. So Catalan people are very material. They're very sort of interestingly discriminative against foreigners. They keep themselves to themselves most of the time, and they will only invite you if they see some sort of economic and I mean that, some sort of economic gain. So I'm not really having a jibe at them. This is just what they are. This is why they get rich. It's because they're quite insular. Now, many other people probably experience Catalans in the same way, unless you marry one of them, and then you're sort of in the tribe, if you see what I mean. But I'm probably distinct from most expats here because just because I have so much to give, you know, in terms of music, my project, my knowledge, my experiences, my inspiration. You know, I've just come back doing 800 kilometers, and that was a small trip for me on a bicycle. So I've just gone round to the other plot and working my nuts off to clean it up a bit, and done some B splits, and there was a few cars going backwards and forwards, and the neighbour who I just sold 6 of my duck eggs to, you know, wouldn't even invite me for a meal, and it was a real shame because I brought my guitar along because I was intending to play in the streets. After working there, I was too tired though, One of the reasons I was tired is because I hadn't eaten, to be honest. And so that would have been perfect setup. I mean, it would have been an impromptu guitar session I would have had with my neighbour, but not even an invite. But what was really interesting, and I don't know how some of you would take this, but I had 3 dogs down there. I didn't have the 5. I had 3 dogs down there, been running around for like the last 3 or 4 hours whilst I was doing all the, cutting back of the wood, dead wood and stuff like that. And they left 3 plates of perfectly good food for the dogs on the floor for the 3 dogs. Now, that could be a kind gesture, but in a strange way, it's an insult. Because why didn't they just invite me? And this is my neighbour, and this is what they're like. They are insular people. They don't like bringing in foreigners to their circles. So Catalans, and in a strange way, I'm like the prophet here. This is not my country. It will never be my country. Even though I'm half Spanish, it will never be my country. I like this distance because in a strange way, I make use of that. It creates a type of fear and respect at the same time. But I hope you liked my song because there's an interesting sort of metaphor going on behind the words. You know, I'm a sailing ship on a bicycle and I'm going east, where in fact on the trip I was going west. I was going from Crete back to Catalonia, which is westerly. But the idea is that the mythical beast, the griffin, which I mentioned in the song, is heading towards the sun and follows the sun in the underworld. And effectively, as I'm going west in the physical world, of course, in the shadow world, the griffin is going east, so that it rises back up again in the morning. And so then you get words like a cry in the day that ripples along the night, a fright, a light, the awakening of its might. So that's the sun rising again. You know, this idea of prehistoric man fearing whether the sun was going to rise again, because that's the life giver. And it's the griffin coming back and rising again in the east and travelling west. And I'm travelling west. I represent the griffin in the real world or the physical world, but in the shadow world, it's my soul.